Hello, everyone. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you're joining from. It's a great pleasure to have everyone on board this day for the 2024/25 OMG OAAD webinar. So this is day one, and we would encourage you to stay tuned with us through the 4 days webinar. Okay, so this is OMG OAAD. I will just give us a little introduction so that some persons who haven't heard of OAAD, in case this is your first time joining any of our program or events, so that you know us better, okay? So OAAD is like the umbrella, it's like the bigger picture. And I happen to be your very own financial secretary of OAAD Global. My name is Chiamaka Linda Mbechidimma. I am also the OMG OAAD General Coordinator, and I will also be your moderator for today. So OAAD has a mission for doctoring solutions for Africa and the world. And we also have the vision to enhance the quality of life in Africa through research, technology, and innovation. Our main objective is to bring Africa intellectuals together and foster development while engaging relevant internal and external stakeholders. Please, I would encourage us to see OAAD as a family, is a home, is a place to be, and is a place to also contribute towards the growth of Africa. So why OMG? Why do we have OMG? So OMG is OAAD Masters Grooming Initiative. Why do we have this? It's more of a group, an initiative, an organization coped it as to work in line with OAAD. What we do is to extend mentorship to people, individuals, students, scholars who are not yet eligible to be in OAAD. So for you to be in OAAD, you must be either a PhD student or a PhD holder. So what we do is we give hands-on training on how to go about academic writing, publications. As we have seen over time, these are actually very required, or these are very important requirements in order to get PhD. So aside from that, we also engage actively in organizing webinars and programs towards building competent next generation PhD holders. So for today, this is the overview of what we'll be having today. And as I said initially, I would be your moderator for today. Before we start, I would like us to have the opening remark by the OAAD Global President in person of Dr. Odi Elijah. Sir, please, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Linda. And ladies and gentlemen, it's my joy to be able to join us today to have this conversation, and want to welcome you very sincerely to participate in this conference, which is beginning today. This is just the first day. And like our sister Linda mentioned, you have joined today. And for those who may not be familiar with the various things that happen in OAD, you will be able to directly experience aspects of it. And a great reason for our coming together in the organization is that we, as high-end talent of African descent, have a role, a responsibility to handle on the continent of Africa. And we are very intentional on building on the foundations, on the works of our ancestors who worked very hard in the 1960s and early 1950s to work towards bringing political independence to different African countries. After that generation, another generation of people have been working in different areas, having conversations across the world. Now, beyond that generation, we are working together, especially from the professional angle, from diverse disciplines at the moment, operating under 49 research groups and over 1,000 research foci and areas. We want to be able to identify the gap that Africa must fill in order for the world to pay Africa to work towards filling the infrastructure deficit on the continent, which have not allowed us to maximize the human potential we have on the continent. Currently being the youngest continent in the world, for us to be able to maximize that human potential, the infrastructure must be put in place. And infrastructure is not going to be put in place through just wishes or doing research. So beyond research, we are playing a long-term game that can allow us bring things together in ways that can help our continent, not just for us as individuals or people to work in different places and earn money for a living. We're doing something beyond biological survival of individuals amongst us. We are working towards the survival of the continent that we love. And according to the United Nations, the people who are closest to a problem are the best people to solve that problem. And at the moment, we know that the deficit in terms of UN SDGs in Africa have been said to be the worst. The same was the case for MDGs and every other global developmental project that have ever come. Africa is said to be at the worst point. So we must take ownership of this reality and work as high intellects of African descent to build on what has been existing to ensure that we fill a gap. Because if we do not fill a gap for the world, nobody is going to, maybe things like aid or things of that nature. None of those things will make the difference we're looking for. It's only what we're able to, based on the competitive advantages that we have, collating our competitive advantages and using our collective intelligence, we are able to generate bargaining power that can then allow us make provisions like things we're doing today in terms of providing scholarship opportunities for our people, which over the years we've been doing. And through our activities, we've got over 400 people who have got scholarships, PhDs, masters, and in different areas, including people who felt that they were not qualified or they would not want to apply. But over time, we've been able to support and provide whatever support that can be done. And we're looking forward to being able to hear your testimonies, both for those who need scholarships or those who are looking forward to postdoctoral placements, who have already finished their PhDs, or those who are doing PhD, whichever area, we've got everyone covered and want to ensure that we provide the value and keep moving over the years. Remember, it's not just a short-term engagement, a place where you run in to pick something and run away. You can never really outgrow the Global Organization of African Academic Doctors. The higher you go, the more you will need the resources within the system. And how to benefit from it is to contribute to its progress by serving other people, solving other people's problems, and supporting them look for problems to solve even when you are not looking for anything to be done for yourself. Help other people. Through solving other people's problems, you solve your own problems. That's the principle we're working with. And these are the 4 points: fairness, integrity, sacrifice, and transparency. We give credit to people who get things done, and we support them to ensure that everyone keeps moving forward towards solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, my neighbors, I thank you very much today for participating in this conference. Pay attention to do things like filling the surveys that will be circulated every time and participate actively. Looking forward to working with you now and subsequently. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful opening remark. It's quite encompassing. Thank you so much. So I'll be sharing my screen back again. Okay. Please permit me to introduce our first distinguished speaker for this webinar. In person of, you will hear me say Mr. Please, I'm a Nigerian, so the culture of respect is embedded. I don't know how to call the names without putting the due respect. It's yeah. So permit me to introduce the person of Mr. Olusegun John Jegede, our distinguished speaker for the first half of this webinar. So Mr. Olusegun obtained his bachelor's and master's degree in biology and environmental biology and public health, respectively, from a federal university in Nigeria. So till date, he has published some studies in peer-reviewed international journals. Also, he has won several international awards and recognitions, including securing 2 fully funded PhD scholarships in Asia at one of the Chinese C9 universities, that's the top ones, and Europe at the Russell Group universities in the United Kingdom in the last 4 years. He has worked, volunteered, and served for, and still volunteering, working, and serving with several governmental and non-governmental organizations, all in actualizing or all in the actualization of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, UN SDGs. He's presently pursuing a doctorate degree in environmental sciences, environmental biogeochemistry option, which is fully funded by the Commonwealth Scholarship in the United Kingdom, tenable at the University of Glasgow, Scotland, United Kingdom. Olusegun has a very active presence on several online social and scholastic academic databases. Some of his achievements, his publications, awards, and recognitions can be actively engaged on these databases. Please, without any further ado, you have seen that our distinguished speaker is more than distinguished in itself. So please, sir, you have the floor. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's nice to be here. Listening to the president's speech, it was just so thrilling, so electrifying. I believe if we can have organizations like OAAD, like numerous organizations like OAAD in our world will drastically change, most especially in Africa. So I want to thank the president and the executives of OAAD, the committees. I know a lot are really involved in putting up an organization such as OAAD together. I want to really thank you for the work we are doing. We are all in the mission, just ensuring that we lend the voice, just ensuring that we contribute our quota while we are here on Earth, just to ensure that we lift up our continent, Africa. So on that note, I want to appreciate you all. And also I want to thank OAAD once again for this gesture, for inviting me to say one or two things. Some of you are much more better than I do. Forget about the speech that Mrs. Moderator read. We are all in the making. We are all in the making. I believe we still have much more to achieve. Once we are living and we are still on Earth, we have much more to achieve. Just that we need to keep pushing forward. We need to keep driving forward. So I want to appreciate OAAD for inviting me, and also to let me just specially mention Dr. Temitope Arotolu, who is a friend. He actually nominated me for this course, and OAAD supported it. So I want to appreciate you very well. You said, Madam Moderator said she's conversant, that we should pardon that you be adding Mr. I want to say one of the first cultural shocks that that I witnessed here in the UK is you tend to call people by their first name. Somebody like 80, 90, just call the person John. You know, you'll be like, where I came from, Nigeria. You don't tend to call, like, you just look at your dad and call your dad his first name, Elijah. I'm sorry, Mr. President. You just look at your dad. Maybe your dad is Ade, you just, Ade, come here. Your dad would be like, are you, hope you are okay. But that's one of the cultural chops. And that is one of the beauties that scholarship opportunities will give to you. You know, when you are in your space, you know, in your continent, you don't really know what is obtainable outside. Forget about you watch movies and things like that. But scholarship will give you a leverage to be able to go outside there to see how things are done. And I believe we are getting there. We surely get it. Thank you so much once again for the opportunity, and I'm willing to take it on.
It's a great pleasure, sir. Thank you. So, sir, you can start your presentation. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so can I share my slide?
Yes, yes, you
can. Am I given the permission to share? Okay, thank you.
Yes, you have the permission to do so. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Can you see my slide, please?
It's loading. Yes, we can see your slide.
You can see it now?
Yes. Just help us to keep it on enlarge. Yeah. Screen share.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Can you see okay now? Can you
yes,
see it?
Yes, yes, we can see your slide.
Okay. Thank you so much once again for inviting me. In order not to waste our time, the topic before us this evening here in the UK, here in the UK it's afternoon. This afternoon in China, I know it will be evening by now. So is United Kingdom A to Z on postgraduate admission application and scholarship opportunities, Europe. So specifically, I will be speaking to United Kingdom, how to obtain postgraduate admission, how to obtain scholarship opportunities. And I'm Oluwasegun John Jegede. I'm Commonwealth doctoral researcher. My PhD is presently being funded by the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission in the UK. And I'm based at Scottish University's Environmental Research Centre, which is SOC, University of Glasgow, here in the United Kingdom, in Scotland. So Europe, categorically, to study in Europe, you should by now know that to study in Europe is not easy. At least we are all from Africa. We know what the exchange rate is. When you compare Naira to pounds, at the moment, you know what the exchange rate is. I don't want to mention the exchange rate of Nigerian Naira to a UK pound now, because I don't even know how to say it. So to study in Europe requires funding, because as a matter of fact, to study here is just so intense because of the cost involved. You know, your school fees alone, some other maybe tuition alone. I don't know how you are going to raise it. If you feel like you want to put up those money together and come here to study, it's really going to wear you out. You know, I've heard of people like sell a lot of things to be able to travel to the UK to come and study, but even with that, they will still ensure that they find something doing like a part-time job, and it's not always very easy to study in the UK because if you don't have funding, because the cost of living is high and the school fees. And one thing about the UK universities is that they are particularly looking for who to come and study. But you must pay your tuition to the last pence. You know, UK universities don't joke with tuition. I think by now you must have seen like some Nigerians, some students, they wanted to send them back to Nigeria because they could not fulfill their tuition. They could not pay their tuition in full. Once you can't pay your tuition in full like this, the university will just write to the Home Office that, no, this person cannot continue on this visa, and they will withdraw the visa and you are back home. So to study in Europe requires a lot of funding, and that's why we have to look for resources. And Mr. President said in his speech that it has come to the period that we need to start looking at the resources embedded in the system to be able to fund our research. If you are not looking at the opportunities, if you are not looking at the scholarship, if you are not using the money embedded in the system to fund your studies, that means you are not flowing with the era. You are not actually enjoying the dividends that has been placed aside for you. Funders are looking for people to apply scholarships. There are numerous scholarships. Funders are looking for projects to sponsor. They are looking for research to put money on. They are just waiting for you to tell your story that you know that you can do. How can you convince the funder that this is what I'm passionate about? I want to contribute to the SDG. This is how I want to do it. How are you able to convince the funder that, okay, if I put my money on you, will you be able to achieve this? And that's what the funder they are looking for. And here in the UK, I will not, pardon me because I'll be relating more to the UK. Here in the UK, it's an evidence-based system. You want to show this is what I've been able to do. It's just not about saying that, oh, I've gotten this. Where are the evidence? Where are the evidence? Do you have any vibrant social media account like LinkedIn that is a professional account where you put some of those things that you've been able to achieve? If you are saying, okay, I've gotten scholarship, I've gotten awards, where are the proofs? They want to see the proof to be able to fund you. So let's move forward. So this presentation has been divided into, as we all know, we want to talk about postgraduate admissions application, and also we'll be talking about scholarship opportunities. So, but before now, I want to let you know that here in the UK, Masters is divided into two forms. We have the postgraduate taught, which is called PGT, and we have online distance learning. We have MSc by research. And here in the UK, Masters, the postgraduate taught Masters is only for 1 year. So it means that when you get an opportunity to study a particular master's degree course and it's a postgraduate taught master's, you are just going to spend 1 year. The first part of the year, you use it to take some courses along that your course of study, and the second year will be for dissertation. You write your dissertation, and after that, you get your master's. So it's just 1 year, but that is a postgraduate taught pattern. The online distance learning as well. You can be in your country and still be doing a master's degree in the UK. I presently know of someone that is far back in Nigeria and is doing a program at the University of Edinburgh, which is an online distance learning program. But this form of master's is called MSc by research, which is called MRS. This is specifically a little bit above the postgraduate taught, because in this one, you have an element of research. And for me personally, I really believe that if you are passionate about research, I think MRS is very important for you. Because here, you more or less elevate more than just thought. You start getting yourself together, start a project that you can develop to PhD level. So that's another form of master's, that after your 1 year, you can proceed from that to PhD level. So some advisors might be willing to get students to do an MRS program with the intention that after their master's degree, they will elevate to get a PhD with the same advisor. So at times, MRS is very, very good for those that are passionate about research. Now, that is for masters. For postgraduate research, we call them PGRs in the UK. We have programs. Obviously, we know that PhD is totally by research. It's totally by research. But I know in China, you also have to do some courses in your 1 year, because I've also been in China, PhD degree. You also have to do a 1 year course, audited course, first and second semester, and you now continue your research. But here in the UK also is similar, but before now, you do some courses like that of master's degree that you have to go to a class whereby the lecturer will come and speak to you and things like that. But now it has changed to some courses called research development courses, whereby you just have to take some audited courses. You understand? You have to take some audited courses that nobody, is PhD is your self-driven project. You have to take your audited courses. These are the courses that is mandated for you to take for the year. You take them, and at the end of the year, they audit it to say, okay, have you fulfilled your requirement? No lecturer is going to come to class and you attend the lecture and they give you handout, give you notes, and nothing like that. But there are research development courses that you have to take at PhD level. So that is that about postgraduate admissions application. And just like I said earlier, to study in Europe, in the UK, for masters or for PhD, you need funding, because the cost is just so enormous that you may have the resources, but I believe if you are kind of believing yourself that I'm passionate that I can get funding to study in the UK, you can apply for one. And people that have been getting it, they are not satisfied with the status quo. They just want to break record. They want to keep pushing, and you keep pushing and get it. You keep pushing to get it. Don't be discouraged. You might have applied for several and might not have gotten it. Before I was able to get 2 PhD that Madam Moderator mentioned about, I applied for several, so it's part of the journey. It's part of the journey. Moving on to the next slide on postgraduate third degrees. I've simplified this into pre-application stage. We have the pre-application stage, things you need to do before you apply. Application stage, things you need to do while applying, and post-application stage. So now, under pre-application stage, you need to ensure that you have understood very well the course you want to study. Because you don't apply for a course and you feel like, no, why did I choose this course? Because no, once you apply for a course, you must have understand, like, okay, this is a course that I'm willing to do. I'm passionate about it. I feel like I can move on. If you are passionate about proceeding to the PhD level, okay, I think I can build on this master's course to the PhD level. So you have to be sure that you have chosen the right course, that this is the right course for me before you apply on the university website. So second thing that you need to take note of is that you need to check the entry requirements, because some of the courses, they have their entry requirements, which are very specific, tailored to a particular course. So you need to check the entry requirement for this course. Do I meet the entry requirements? If yes, okay, that is tick. That is ticked, you can proceed. Do I meet that? But if you don't meet it, if you are not sure, you can ask postgraduate admissions team. They are there to help you. Here in the UK, or generally abroad, you are free to ask questions. It's not like in Nigeria that will be like, if I ask questions on this program now, will it be as if I'm preempting? Maybe I'm pushing myself forward. Maybe it might affect No, it doesn't work like that. They want you to ask questions. People are there to attend to you. If you feel like you don't know the requirements for a particular course, you can send email to the admission team, and they are willing to guide you to that. They are willing, or you are not sure about a particular requirement, you can send them an email and they would attend to you. So, we are in do-it-yourself era. All these things, they are not rocket science. It's just warrants that you are diligent, you know what you're supposed to do, and you are driving at it. So, among others, these are basic documents that you need: your degree certificates, your academic transcripts. If you've obtained these two in, let's say you've obtained your first degree or your academic transcript in China, for example, you have to also provide the English translation of those academic degrees. References, this is very important. I've never seen any application that doesn't require you putting some references, putting in some references. So this is very important that you look for people that when you ask them, even at midnight, please, can you write for me a reference? Can you write for me a reference letter? They are willing to do that because, you know, scholarship application journey is more or less like you can't predict it, but you keep refining yourself, you keep getting better. This year, you might apply to 100, you might have done like in the past, maybe 500 applications and obtained references for all the 500s, and none will not get 1 year from them. So you need to get some people that are passionate about you, passionate about your career, passionate about your goal, and know who you are. You understand? That is very important because for you to meet with someone to write a reference for you, the person must have been able to vouch for you, maybe in your academic department. Do this person know you as someone serious? Can this person prove your academic record? You know, I've seen people ask for references from people that basically do not know them. You can't get any reference from them because reference letter is like speaking from the heart. I've known this person has worked with me, I know what this person is capable of doing, I'm willing to write a reference letter for this person. So it's very important. Evidence of your English language ability, this is very important, but there's a caveat to this. In the UK, you may know some other intending prospective students coming from other countries might require this if English language is not their primary language of communication. You understand? Maybe people from Pakistan, people have seen some colleagues, while for me, they didn't require IELTS from me. I've seen some other colleagues that they are requesting that they provide IELTS certificates to be able to get admission in the UK. But they've specifically stated it on the website that if you've done WAEC and you've passed English language, you can provide your certificates and say, okay, I've passed, I've done WAEC and I've passed English language, and this is it. This is what I've obtained. This is upward. You can waive that for you. And also, I know that during my own time, I supplied my WAEC certificate. I remember I had a B3 in English. I supplied that. I also got this document from my university that stated that, oh, English language was the means of instruction. All my courses were taken in English language, and even English language is the official language of or in Nigeria. And I provided that document, attached it to my WAEC certificate, and they didn't even ask me for IELTS, and they just gave me the admission straight away. You understand? So, but for some, I remember someone said, they still asked me for IELTS, even after I've shown them that I can speak English, but they still requested that I provide IELTS certificates at this also bank. You understand? And you know, you that you are looking for admission, to write IELTS, I think in the UK you have to spend about 200 and maybe 250 pounds or thereabout. I don't know how much it is in Nigeria. So add those costs together, you know, and you want to obtain, let's say you want to obtain admission in like 5 universities. Okay, you can take IELTS once and still be able to use it, but at least it will take something off you. Passport data is very important. I can't emphasize this. Like, you want to travel from Nigeria to the UK and you don't have a visa, how do you go? So that is very important. Any additional documents as required, maybe CV, depending on the requirement of the course you want to study, and depending for PhD candidate, depending on your advisor or potential supervisor now, they might ask for some other documents. Have you published? Okay, can you show us evidence of your publication? Have you published in this area? What are your publications? They can request for that. They can send you some questions and they ask you to answer them. You know, why are you? I remember my supervisor then asked me, why are you taking PhD at this time? Why do you feel PhD is the best for you? You know, those are, they just want to hear from you. They just want you to write from the heart that, oh, I believe. Why are you interested in my lab? You understand? Like those kind of questions. Why are you interested in this university? Why are you interested in this particular course? Why are you interested in me personally? And you feel like I can supervise? You know, they just want you to to prove yourself. And they might also interview you, you understand, before, most especially those that have research plans, might also interview you. So you should prepare for all those things. Okay, that is pre-application stage. Now to the application stage, after you have fulfilled all righteousness as far as pre-application stage is concerned, you move into the application stage. Here in the UK, it's a straightforward process. Everything is digitalized. You understand, you can do all these things on the internet, on the university website. So the first thing you need to do is to register an account with the university and complete all your application process online. You understand? When you register, you want to apply for a particular course, you have identified the course, you've checked the requirements, and you are sure that you are meeting all the requirements, and there's nothing else that you have not provided. Even if I will still get to that, but you are satisfied that, okay, all the requirements that I'm putting forward is okay, you can go ahead and apply. Once you create an account, you might not need to finish all you go. You might resume later. You just have to put in your login details. But it's just that most applications, they usually specify that it must be completed within this also number of days, maybe 20 days or 28 days. But so that means even if you are starting now to resume later, you must finish your application within that time line. You understand? You that you are passionate about your admission, you don't want to waste time. That's why more or less that you need to prepare yourself first before you go into it, so that you don't waste too much time. It is something that you can finish within 1 or 2 days if you already have your documents together. So you complete the application form online and submit. And also, just like I said, be mindful of application deadlines specific for each program. Also, if you are applying for scholarship, you need to be mindful of application deadlines. If then, even for all applications, one thing I check, aside the requirements, aside what I involved in the application, I check the application deadlines, because my method is not to wait till the tail end of the application to submit it. No, I try to submit my application maybe 1 week before the end of the expiration of that application. I tend to submit earlier so that I know so I put in the work. If I want to sit down, I remember when I was writing my essay, if I want to sit down on a particular one, I give myself time, dedicated. Okay, I want to write my essay, I want to finish all these things within 1 or 2 weeks so that I can submit and forget about it and put the rest into God's hands. You understand? So that's it. You want to do all those before you apply, because once you apply, you just be anxious, you'll be expecting that, oh, I want them to give back to me. So for you to get to that level, you have to have fulfilled all righteousness, and you know that, oh, I'm rest assured that the outcome that we get from this will surely be positive. So that is about the application stage. So now, once you've done that, there's something called application self-service. Just like I said, it's do it yourself. So you have this application self-service on the university site, on the university website, whereby you can resume to. You understand? If you still have some other document within the period that your application document will be reviewed, you can use this application self-service to manage all your applications and upload some documents. You can update your personal details. If you've eventually been given an offer, you have to respond to that offer via the application self-service as well. So everything is digitalized. You have to follow the trend, and to do that, to log into that, once you apply, you get a student ID and the application number. So those are the documents, those are the details that you use to log into the application self-service. So now, depending, here at the University of Glasgow, working days, 28 working days after you've submitted your application is the time required to get a response, and 28 working days to get a response. So the response might be conditional offer. You have been given a conditional offer, which means you still need some other documents to get your own conditional offer. Okay, you have gotten an unconditional offer, that means you've satisfied to the maximum all the requirements that the university is asking from you, or a rejection letter. We are sorry, we can't give you, if not, all the documents that you have provided to us, it's not, we can't proceed with this application. So it happens, but I believe that this is not an option for us. This first and second is the option for us. Conditional offer and unconditional offer, if we've actually done what we are supposed to do. So moving on, now the post-application stage, you've applied and provided all the documents. Just like I said, you can get your own conditional offer, which means you still have some other documents to be added, which will be given the timeline. Okay, you have to supply all these documents. So once you get a conditional offer, you have to accept that. You have to accept it. You'll be given, oh, okay, you need to accept the offer, because here in the UK, once you're given admission, you need to accept it. At every point, you need to accept it. That, oh, I'm accepting the offer. And if you are not accepting, oh, I'm declining the offer. So once you get a conditional offer, you need to accept that. Once you accept it, if you don't need to supply any further document, you get your own conditional offer. And once you get your own conditional offer, you also need to accept it. That, oh, okay, thank you for the unconditional offer. I accept this offer. Or peradventure, you've changed your mind. Oh, I don't want to come to the UK again. I want to go to Australia. I want to go to the US. I want to, oh, okay, I don't need this application. I don't need this offer. Okay, can decline. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Maybe then I was still thinking UK is for me, but now I've realized UK is not for me. This I don't want it again. I need to decline. Nobody will crucify you for it, and that doesn't mean if you change your mind later, you can still not apply again to the same university. So that's just the process of how things work. This defer letter, I will get to the point where I'll have to talk about to defer, call it deferment. So if the course of study is requiring that we pay a deposit, if required, we has to pay a deposit. That, okay, to hold this space for this particular program, this is deposit for you to pay, and you have to pay. If you are like you want to self-study, you can pay. But if you are looking forward to a scholarship, you just be looking forward to, okay, I will have to apply to get a scholarship so that I can waive, so that I will not be requested to pay this deposit. I will just be applying for a scholarship to fund my degree. So after you have fulfilled these requirements, you obtain your confirmation of acceptance of study. They call it CAS letter. On your CAS letter, your degree will be stated there that you are applying for, your course of study, the duration of the course, and a lot of information about the course will be stated there. Because if you've not gotten your CAS letter, you can't apply for a visa, because your CAS is what you need, your CAS to apply for a visa. And for those that will be studying some specific courses, ATAS, we call it Academic Technology Approval Scheme. Certificate is also needed if you are coming to the UK to study some courses that the fee might threaten the UK system. This is some engineering courses, maybe biomedical engineering, some maybe forensic science, some courses that they feel like, oh, this might threaten the UK system. They want to ask you to apply for ATC. Yeah. So on your CAS, this will be stated if ATSA, which can be called ATAS, is required for your course or if it's not required. For ATAS, apply 6 months before your course start date after receiving university offer letter. Yes, because it takes 6 months before your course start date. It takes a little bit to get your ATAS, so you have to apply as early as possible, and it's valid for 6 months from the date of issue. And before you apply for your UK visa, maybe by adventure you are sure that the funding is coming, and you've already gotten your scholarship. For you to apply for UK visa, that is on you. Your funder will not apply for UK visa for you. You have to apply it yourself. So all this work, you have to do it on your own. You have to prepare your documents and proceed to to the UK, UK office to apply for visa, and TLS to apply for UK visa to come to the UK. Those are things that nobody will do for you. And also that is also a discuss on so documents that you have to prepare together and things like that. But what I can say about that is if you are actually funded, I mean, is just going to be forget about what people say about UK visa very hard. No. All the visas that I've been applying for now, I've never been denied any. I've never been denied. While traveling to China, my visa was approved. Coming to the UK, my visa was approved. I've applied visa for my wife. I've applied visa for my wife. None has been approved. So they just want you to prove to them that this is me. You are not hiding anything. You are submitting original documents. You are submitting all your documents, and everything is intact, and they would approve your visa. You don't need to be scared of that. Maybe. And if you've actually gotten like a funding, believe me, UK system, they need money. They will surely grant you your visa because they want money. UK economy is money driven. They want money. They will surely grant you your visa because they don't want you to come and be stranded. Because they know the system is actually not easy. Far back in Nigeria, I feel, it's only in Nigeria that people suffer. People don't see how to sleep. Some people. Here in the UK, I see it real. You see people sleeping on the road. They are homeless. In winter, cold winter, you see people sleeping on the road. They are homeless. It happens. So let's forget about the narrative that people only suffer in Africa. People also suffer abroad. Just depends on the income level and things like that. So, and you proceed to apply for a visa after all this. So that is the post-application stage. And now that is about the postgraduate research PGR degrees. That is for masters. Now to PhD on MRS, first thing you need to do is to identify your potential supervisor. This is very key. No supervisor will take you if the supervisor doesn't feel like, the research that this person is coming to do in my lab is actually going to what? It's actually going to contribute to me. You understand? It's actually in my interest as well. No supervisor is willing to fund that because, they may not be 100% in what you are coming to do, but it must pass across their interests. You must be able to add to their knowledge while they add also to you. I know that if you're applying for some scholarship, which I'm going to touch on that later, you might be doing your project. You might be doing your project, but there will be a lot of fine-tuning. I know that in China, it's quite different. It's quite different, even though because I know I applied for Chinese government scholarship and I got it to study in University of Science and Technology of China in Anhui province in Hefei. I know that you surely put like, this is what I'm coming to do, but you just see yourself embedded in your supervisor's interest. So at times it works like that here also in the UK, but it just depends on your funder and what the funder is willing to fund and a lot of information about that. So ensure you have identified your potential supervisor, that your research interest perfectly aligns with that of potential supervisor. You can reach out to the supervisor using cold email, submitting your research proposals and some other documents. I remember while I was looking for my supervisor, my first cold email like this, I add all what I believe. If this person sees this, is just going to like, please become. And since I'm going to apply for, it's not that I'm applying to ease or advertised grants. You understand? I'm applying that, I'm just going to look for my own funding. So I stand a chance, I stand a chance because it's me applying to get admission in the UK and now looking elsewhere to get funding to fund that project. It's not that you have a grant and you are advertising to get the student to come and study. So put all your documents. Some potential professors will also, most especially those with funding opportunities, they will request for some other documents to test your competencies. They might be willing to do interviews with you. They might ask you for your publications, which you need to, at this level, if you are applying for a PhD, I believe you should at least have 1 or 2 publications, not be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if you have 10, it's allowed. But you must, for me, I believe is like showing your potential professor that I know the rudiments of publishing. You know, I've been able to publish. At least I've done a research that's worth publishing. It may be your undergraduate research that you have published, maybe your master's research that you have published, but at least it puts like the consciousness into them that this person knows what he or she is doing. And even while applying for scholarship, they will surely ask you to have awards, publications, and things like that. So research task, professor, the advisor might want to ask for some other task to prove yourself, your CV. Yes, some supervisor might ask for it. And even while applying, I remember while applying for PhD admission at the University of Glasgow, they did request for my CV. So you just have to also put your CV. Yeah, you know, I said earlier that some requirements that you need to check. This is in addition to all the other these documents. Yeah, in addition to all the other ones that I've stated. Statement of purpose, interest, motivation letter. Why are you coming to study this, or that? You just want to be sure that, oh, this person that I'm getting to work in my lab is fit to do the work. You understand? Most especially if they have the funding and they know that they just don't want to spend their funding on somebody that is not competent. You understand? So they just want to do that, even though it's not that you are up there 100%, even though when you come to the program as well, you still need to learn a lot of things, most especially with that we are coming from Nigeria, that the instrumentation, we don't really have much instrumentation and things like that. You know, you still need to learn some things, but at least they want to assess you, not that what you know. You might not even, projects that you're applying for, you may not even know. I remember then in my lab, the lab that I applied to in China, I remember that one of someone in the lab at that moment that more or less like in the lab that was a link. I remember I told him, don't worry, you don't even know what we do here. You know, I remember he told me that you don't even know what we do here, but at least you just need to show that, oh, I'm willing to do this. These are what I've been able to get. You know, these are my publications, things I've been able to publish and things like that, awards, maybe those little awards that you feel they are meaningless. No, it is when you start applying for opportunities that you know that, no, the significance of getting awards, it has its own part, you know? So that is it. So all these documents will be in PDF format. This is when you're applying to get admission, PhD admission. So you have to supply all this as well, in addition to the others. For PhD, because PhD is totally research, you will be asked to submit your research proposal, very important, before you get admission. And your supervisor must be willing to buy into that research proposal. So, you know, before now I said you must be able to ensure, you must ensure that your potential supervisor research interest marries with your own research interest. So if your supervisor is not willing to buy into the research proposal, that means you are not going to get any admission, because they believe that once you already secure a potential supervisor in the UK that is willing to fund your, that is willing to supervise your project. So that research proposal is what we put forth. Okay, this is our research, even though a lot fine-tuning will happen during the course of the program, a lot will happen, but at least you have to submit it to get admission. And also CV, sample of written work as per requirement of this subject area, and the adds that other specific requirements depending on the entry. And so now that is just about postgraduate admissions application. So once you have gotten all this, done, you will surely get your conditional offer. You will start with conditional offer, you will send you a conditional offer. And like for me, the way it happened for me, I got my conditional offer. And after accepting the conditional offer, they weren't requiring, they are not requiring that I submit any further document. You understand? They just, after accepting my conditional offer, 1 week later, I got my own conditional offer. You understand? And that time, I'm here to apply for funding. I remember my professor asking me that you've gotten one conditional offer and you've not even shown that this is not a self-sponsored project, that you've gotten your means of sponsoring this project. I said, but I've gotten unconditional, because like what unconditional offer means is that you don't need to meet any other condition. You have fulfilled all the conditions. So you are willing to, your space has been, they've hold your space for you. No one is going to take that space. It's already tied to your name, you know. And I've gotten it. I remember that I've even started using some university resources like the university email, using the university email to access research publications and things like that. You know, I would still talk more about that. So that's about that. Now, to scholarship opportunities, just like I said, to come to study in the UK, you need scholarship and a lot of scholarship opportunities. But before I start talking about this, let me just say a little of mine, because I believe people will surely learn from my experience. My experience is I applied to the UK university specifically. I did all my applications, submitted all my documents. I first and foremost got my conditional offer and I accepted it. And just a week after, I got my unconditional offer. So now, since this program is not going to be self-sponsored, I'm looking for someone to sponsor this project, because I don't actually have the means to sponsor the project. Because what the project, for example, what I'm paying now for a year, just imagine it, that someone is paying for me. I'm paying my school fees as at now. My 1 year school fees is about £27,930. 27,930 pounds. Imagine, which might also increase. That's what someone is paying just for me to come and study, because I've gotten a scholarship. So that is how much they are asking me to pay, and I don't know how to pay. So getting the offer, after who is going to sponsor this project? Who is going to sponsor this project? And to come to the UK, there are a lot of scholarship opportunities, but it's very competitive in the sense that what will be used to sponsor a PhD student in the UK will actually be used to sponsor maybe 2 or 3 or more in some other climes. You understand? Most especially in Europe, will be used to sponsor because of the exchange rate and what is involved. So I remember then I had to apply for PTDF. If you're in Nigeria, you know what PTDF is, Petroleum Technology Development Fund, because I have proposed to study a project that is related to crude oil pollution in the Niger Delta. So I applied, also you need to target some funding agencies that okay, what I'm going to study actually aligns with their organizational mandate, organizational mandate. This is what they are set up to do for them to fund you. Because if you are, for example, if you want to do this and you've not actually married, like, what is the organizational mandate? This is what I want to study. How does it align? Forget it. You can defend from now to 200 years. Nobody is going to fund that project because it doesn't keep. So that is one of the things that you need to also identify. That, okay, this funding entity, what I'm coming to study, does it align with what they are willing to fund? Because if it doesn't align, forget it. Keep applying 100 times, they are not going to fund it. So I applied for PTDF, but eventually It didn't come. I didn't get it. I've already secured like an unconditional offer. I was shattered, you know. I was shattered. Oh, this year is gone. You know, I could not get it. So I went back to my supervisors. This is it. Although I've gotten this unconditional offer, like I've even started using the university resources, I've been issued UK email address, this and that, started accessing papers and things like that, but I could not secure the funding. So I remember I told them that, please, I would like to define. You know, I mentioned earlier that I will have to talk about where deferment, the place of deferment, whether you are accepting or declining or define the admission. So I told them, please, can you allow me to define this program? That means I will still, you will still be my supervisor, you know, but it's just more like I can't come this year, but at least my space will still be kept for me, you know, attached to your name that because, you know, I don't want to start all over again, looking for supervisor again. Maybe by that time, I've gotten some students in your lab and say, no, sorry, I can't take you because my lab is full. So I want to keep that space, trying again to look for funding. So I said, oh, okay, you can defer. And I remember that I contacted the graduate school manager as well to inform that, oh, I've not gotten my funding. I even asked that, is there any other funding I can access? So, oh, sorry, at this time, there's no other funding you can access. Okay, please, can I defer my admission? You know, and he said, oh, okay, defer for you for 1 year. So I deferred that till the second year. So the second year, which is the next year to that, I applied for Commonwealth Scholarship. I convinced my supervisor that I'm going to apply. And I kept to my word, you know, I was diligent. And this second time, I must get it right. I must, you know, you get, you know what rejection does to you is that it makes you see yourself that, this is what I've not done right. So at times, for 1 year, all those years of rejection that you have, they are actually they are actually taking off some SXs from you that you don't know. Because they are actually telling you that these are the things that you've not done right. Maybe you didn't try to do this right. Maybe there's this publication that you're supposed to have added. Maybe you've not published it then. So I applied the second time, and lo and behold, I got the one that is even better than the PTDF that I applied for initially, which is a fully funded Commonwealth Scholarship Commission in the UK CSE PhD scholarship. So and I was able to secure my space. So the moral of that is just that don't lose hope. That is just part of the process. You know? Don't lose hope. If you ask people that they've secured admissions, they've secured scholarship, they tell you, I didn't get it at my first attempt. I tried several times. That doesn't make them like they are inferior, you know. But it's just that, and also the God factor is there, because obviously I'm a Christian. I need to let you know. God factor is also there, but that doesn't take away the fact that you need to do your own work very well. You need to do your own work. So that is that. So for masters, you can get a lot of funding opportunities that you can access to fund your master's project. If you are coming to the UK to do a PG thought, those things that I've put here, they are just numerous out of the scholarship available. It's just that you need to be self-driven. You need to be able to explore. You need to be able to, if you are here on this call and you are not relevant, you might have an account on LinkedIn, but you are not relevant. Relevant is saying that don't check LinkedIn, you don't look for opportunities, you are just, no, I'm sorry. It's more or less like you are not following the trend. You must be able to look for opportunities. A lot of people have gotten several awards, a lot of the awards that you feel like, if I get this, some people have gotten it, and they continue to share their experience. They continue to tell people how they are doing it. Not about that, come and pay me 50,000 to do. That is why I'm happy about what OAAD is doing. You know, OAAD can as well say, for you to be on this call, please, you have to pay so amount. Maybe those from China, you have to pay 150 RMB, those from Nigeria, you have to pay 10,000, 20,000. No, they are doing it for free, just tapping from the wealth within. You understand? So, and also on LinkedIn, we have a lot of people that have gotten awards. Name it. Awards that you don't even know exist. You will just be shocked. You will just be scrolling through your LinkedIn and you just stumble on a particular. So this particular scholarship exists and I'm eligible. You know, you read through and say, what am I doing? Why? I've not applied for this, and you must be very active on LinkedIn, very, very active to look at opportunities. You know, there are some internal funding, college or school scholarship, like now I'm in College of Science and Engineering. There are some scholarships that are being funded that are available for people coming to study in the college. But if you don't go to the university site to look at those opportunities, you may not know that they exist, you know? So you need to check all those, you know, this is like a global leadership scholarship for those that are coming to University of Glasgow, can access that. University scholarship as well. Yeah, there's this MasterCard, there's Afro's graduate school for those that are going to University of Oxford for outstanding African graduates. You know, that's why this particular thing aligns with what OAAD is doing. You know, there's some scholarship that are specifically limiting to people from Africa, you know, and why? Like Commonwealth scholarship is for people from Commonwealth countries, and most of African countries are under Commonwealth. Like I know of Ghana, I know of Nigeria, I know of some other countries, South Africa and some others. So why can't you look for those opportunities that at least is kind of limited, is something that is kind of limited to us that we can harness, you know, in our space to develop ourselves. So this MasterCard for African origin, you can access it to apply. Also, for external funding, these are internal funding that the school manages, you know, to study in the school. But for external funding, you can access Commonwealth scholarship. We have Commonwealth Masters. We have Commonwealth shared masters. We have Commonwealth distance learning masters. You know, all these are attainable in the United Kingdom. You can access them. You know, I will still be, because I'm a Commonwealth scholar, I will still be talking a little bit about Commonwealth scholarship in the next slide or two. We have the Grace Scholarship. This is being run by UK government, British Council. This is a part funding, like £10,000 is devoted, is being added to your tuition, you know, for a 1-year postgraduate course, you know, 10,000. Maybe your tuition is about 18,000. You get this, the Grace Scholarship, which is going to pay like a part, we call this part funding. You are going to pay £10,000 out of the £80,000, so you are left with £8,000 to have. You understand? So, but at least it's still something. It's still better than you are coming to pay all the 18,000 yourself. So, we have Chevening Scholarship. Chevening Scholarship. I know a lot of people know Commonwealth Scholarship. They know Chevening Scholarship. You can access it. It's a fully funded, just like Commonwealth Scholarship. It's a fully funded scholarship. You pay all your tuition. You pay even EFL ticket. You pay like Commonwealth Scholarship paid my EFL return ticket. They paid my visa application fee. They pay, and I also have visa support grant of a particular amount every year. They pay for a lot. Even if you have a family, they are willing to say, oh, you'll be giving your family a little amount to sustain if your family is with you in the UK. You understand? So these are leverages that we can access. It just requires that we put ourselves together. How are we going to tell our story? How are we going to convince the funder that we are get this opportunity and things like that? To be conscious of time. Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters, this is across Europe, can access MasterCard. I think MasterCard Foundation Scholarship is presently on now from young people from Sub-Saharan Africa, UK. PTDS scholarship to study in Europe. Now, let me hint on this. At times, because of what happens in Nigeria, you know, at times we believe that, who know who is, all these scholarships, they are who know. But I want to tell you that at times you see people that get this scholarship and basically do not know anybody. Like, I'm a testimony. I got Commonwealth PhD scholarship And I basically do not know anyone. Like, the application process is that you apply to the university and you get admission to the university, you apply for the funding. And if you pick, there are nominating agencies, okay, maybe I should pause. I will be talking about that in the next slide. So these are opportunities that you can access to come to UK to study at MSc. But each scholarship, they have their requirements, they have things you need to do and things like that. So you just have to ensure that you are meeting the right need of the funder, what the funder wants to fund, what the funder wants to fund. You are speaking to it. You know, you can see that we started from looking for admission. You can see that there's a common line through it all. Your passion, just one goal. You are just looking at various means to achieve that goal. You are not deviating, and that is just scholarship journey. You know, a lot of us think that for you to get scholarship, you must just wake up in one day and say, I'm looking for scholarship. No, scholarship process is a process whereby you start building yourself. You know, those little things, those little dots, scattered dots here and there, those awards that you've gotten that is kept somewhere. You know, scholarship will make you to harness all these things together, bring them together. Even things that you don't know they count. By the time you start looking for scholarship opportunities, you start looking for things that will stand you out. If I had this, will it speak a little bit of me? If I had this, will it address this? You know, you just sit down and begin to think and begin to realize, put yourself together because they are very competitive. I must not lie, they are very, very competitive. Hard work is needed. You need to ensure that you have gotten all the requirements for you to get a space. For PhDs, which is basically, don't let me lie, Europe is very, very capital intensive. After successful offer, you need to apply for funding or scholarship opportunities. I said available funding opportunities, self-funded. If you want to self-fund, you can go to find a PhD. You will see some advisors that are looking for students. You can apply. Obviously, after that, you still have to go and look for funding. You understand? Also, in find a PhD, if you are specific about coming to the UK, find a page there as well. You see some projects that are advertised. You know, those advisors already secure grants. You can access them. Internal funding that you can access, college graduate school scholarship. You know, I said earlier that depending on the college that you study in, they also have graduate school, but it's just that the space is always very limited. They might be offering maybe 2 or 3 for the whole year. So it's very, very competitive. Even between advisors, you know, these advisors competing with this advisor to grab the space. So you can see the competition is not even within the applicants alone. It's even within those in the space, you know, advisors. This person wants to ensure that I'm the one that will get this space. So in the same college. So postgraduate research, excellent bursaries. We have some other bursaries that can also be part of your tuition. Center for Doctoral Training, Wellcome Trust PhD program here at the University of Glasgow is something like Centers for Doctoral Training. We have Wellcome Trust. They are one of the greatest funders in the world. If you want to do medical research, you know, for technology research and things like that. Wellcome Trust, they are willing to fund. Just ensure that you have gotten admission and you are willing to contribute to the project, or you have met with a kind of call for a scholarship that a particular person has advertised, and you have been able to show that you are willing to carry on the project. Arpitos 2 is also another scholarship that you can look forward to study in the UK or PhD. Doctoral Landscape Scholarship, Belbonnet Graduate School, these are internal funding. For external funding, yes, we have for PhDs now, Commonwealth Scholarship. We have split site PhD scholarship. Split site means that in Commonwealth language, means that you are doing your, for example, those that are from Nigeria. I'm sorry if I'm talking too much of Nigeria because that's where I come from. Those that are from Nigeria, maybe you are studying at the University of Lagos or University of Ibadan, studying a PhD, you know, your PhD is for 4 years or 3 years, and Commonwealth will give you opportunity to come to the UK to spend 1 year in the UK. for example, maybe you've gotten your data, you've gotten your, you are doing research, maybe biology research or genomics and things like that, they will afford you the opportunity to come to a lab in the UK to stay there for 1 year so that you'll be able to have access to the equipment, to be able to have access to the resources that you may not have access to, and they are going to also pay all the fees that are attached to that, your return ticket and every other thing you paid. So that is beside. But after that 1 year, you now go back to your home country. Generally, go back to your own country after the scholarship. So that is split side PhD. PhD fellowships, this is more or less like a postdoctoral for those that have finished their PhD in their own country, and their country is a Commonwealth country. They can have access to professional fellowships. They can apply for this, and they are also like a lecturer back home, university back home, you know, and let's say a person is from the University of Ibadan in Nigeria and has finished the PhD, and irrespective of where the person obtained the PhD, can apply for professional fellowship under Commonwealth scholarship. And if you get it, you come to the UK to come and do like a postdoctoral research. It's also going to be funded. PhD scholarship, this is the one that God has given to me, PhD scholarship, also by hard work. So high income PhD scholarship, this is also available. I think Nigeria is not under this high income. There are some set of countries under the high income PhD scholarship. All these are obtainable in the United Kingdom. UKRI funded projects, yes. Some professors here in the UK advisors, they already secure grants, they already secure scholarship. You understand? They are looking for students to come and do the work. So they will advertise. You can find a lot on Find the PhD. They advertise for potential supervision, and if you apply and they assess you, they judge you through all those documentation that we talked earlier by coding, and they feel like, oh, this person surely be a very good candidate. They might take you and come and work on that project, but that project will lead to your PhD. And here in the UK also, there's UKRI stipends. Yes, you get some set of money as stipend every month. You know, it's about, let's say, about 19,000 something UKRI per year. So that is broken down to months, so you get that every month. So basically, it's also a fully funded. It's just that not some other things, maybe your return here, and I don't know if all those ones are being paid for, but some also may care for that. PhD scholarship in UK and Europe generally, you can see information on Find the PhD and some other Marie Klodowska Uri Action MSCA scholarship. This one is basically to people that are willing to go to European countries, UK, Germany, European countries, France. So it's being run by the European Commission. You can access this. Yes, I also want to emphasize that you need to subscribe to some opportunity platforms like Opportunity Desk Africa. You can see this Opportunity Desk Africa. It's more or less like Organization of African Doctors. Opportunity Desk Africa, you know, is just more or less like things that can make us to grow in Africa. So LinkedIn is also, I kind of emphasize this. You need to be active to be able to get scholarship. So these are the scholarship opportunities that you can get. Now, because I'm a Commonwealth funder, I said I'm a Commonwealth scholar, I want to talk more Commonwealth scholarship. Now, what is Commonwealth scholarship? Commonwealth scholarship is funded by the UK Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO. For you to get Commonwealth scholarship, you need to apply under 6 CSE development teams. 6 CSE development
teams. Hello, sir. So
hello?
sorry for interrupting. But please, you would try to be a little bit fast because we are behind schedule already. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I think you didn't prompt me. Okay, I think this is the last slide. Let me just run through it as fast as much as possible. Okay, so for you to apply for Commonwealth scholarship, you have to write under these things. We have how many SDG I think there are 17, right? 17 SDG goals. If I'm not mistaken, yes, 17 goals. No poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, and so on and so forth. So you must marry it. You must marry them into these 6 things. That means your research must fall into any of these to apply. So you can, I think Commonwealth PhD is still applicable. And how do you apply for that? You either apply to a national nominating agency like your country's Ministry of Education, like I got nominated by Ministry of Education, Federal Ministry of Education in Abuja. I got nominated by them to Commonwealth after I've applied on Commonwealth site. So you have to apply first on Commonwealth site, and you also have to pick that, oh, this is the agency that I want to nominate me. Okay, Ministry of Education in Nigeria is the nominating agency I want to nominate me. So once you pick them, they also have some other processes you go to, interviews and things like that. So if they eventually nominate you to Commonwealth, surely you get it. Also, university, you can be nominated by the university if you are a lecturer far back in your home country, and you can also apply to, you can pick your university as a nominating agency, and you can also nominate you. So they also have their checks on, they also run their checks on you to get that. Non-governmental organizations, there are also some non-governmental that can nominate scholars. So annual deadlines for application are usually in December. So you can, if you want to explore that, you can check the Commonwealth site. And because of time, I'm not be able to run the questions, some essay questions that you need to write on Commonwealth. But if you go to Commonwealth site, you basically see information on that. So thank you so much. I'm wishing you all the best in the scholarship applications, and thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, sir. It was quite an insightful, as in this is something people would listen to for like a 1 month run webinar. You just try to encompass everything just for today.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's quite rich. Thank you. So please, can you stop sharing?
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. So now I'll be introducing our next speaker in person of Mr. Zacchaeus Pazamilala Akoyane. I hope I'm not making so much blunder, but please, if I am sorry. So Mr. Zacchaeus is a Ghanaian from the northern region who currently resides in China. He earned his BSc in Agricultural Technology at the University for Development Studies in Ghana. He obtained a diploma in education from the University of Education, Ghana, which qualifies him as a professional teacher. He got his MSc in Animal Nutrition and Feed Science at the Inner Mongolia University in China. He also obtained an associate degree in Innovating Education and Entrepreneurship for Digital Economy at Tengchuan University Innovation and Entrepreneurship Program, China. Mr. Zacchaeus is currently a PhD candidate at Inner Mongolia University. Mr. Zacchaeus served as National Service Personnel and Teaching Assistant at the UDS, Department of Agricultural Mechanization and Irrigation Technology, Ghana, for 1 year. He worked with Ronson GH Limited in Ghana as a cotton production assistant for 1 year. He also worked with Ghana Education Service as a subject master for 5 years. He served as a deputy returning officer at Electoral Commission of Ghana. He worked as a foreign staff member at the International Education College in China. So during his study in China, he won many awards, and a few of them are: He was named Outstanding International Student at Inner Mongolia University. During the pandemic in 2020, he won the first prize in the essay writing competition organized by the Education Department in Inner Mongolia. He also won the Academic Excellence Award for the class of 2021 International Student at Inner Mongolia University. He also won the Inner Mongolia University International Education College 2023 Chinese Classic Recitation Competition. Wow! As third prize in China. He won the first prize in the 6th International Student Talent Competition of Inner Mongolia University, China. Please, without any further ado, you can see the biography is a whole lot. It is reflective of the kind of person who will be speaking to us. So please get your pen and pencil, get your questions coming. If you wouldn't like to speak towards the end by asking directly, do well to send in your questions in the chat function. We'll do well to address them, and other questions will subsequently be addressed in the OMG OAAD group. So please, sir, you have the floor. Thank you. Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. Hello, madam.
So nice to have you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I just want to thank you for the privilege given unto me. I do appreciate. I also want to thank the president of OAAD, that is Dr. Odi Elijah. I also want to appreciate Mr. Gideon and all the leadership of OAAD, and as well, my colleague who just finished presentation. I really enjoyed everything. Thank you. All right, thank you very much. So, like you've seen already, my name is Zakios Pazamila Lakomyani, and I'm currently in Huhot City in Inner Mongolia Agricultural University. And the presentation topic is tips for writing an outstanding statement of purpose and study plan. So what is statement of purpose? In other words, SOP. What can you say about it? So an SOP is a detailed essay that outlines your academic and career objectives, along with the reasons for applying to a particular program. It provides insights into your background, achievements, motivations, and how the chosen programs aligns with your future goals. So that is basically an SOP, that is statement of purpose. So you need to come out with an essay that outlines your academic and career objectives, along with the reasons for which you are applying for that particular program. And it gives an insight into a background, your achievement and motivations, which should go hand in hand with your future goals. We should also know that the SOP is an integral part in determining whether you'll be admitted into a program or not. Now, why do we have to talk about statement of purpose in the first place? Why is it so necessary? So SOP is necessary because it defines your motivation, your skills, and your career goals. An SOP tells the graduate admission community that this person, or in other words, I, who is applying for this particular program, I'm interested in this or that. So when you write a statement of purpose, it tells the admission committee what I am interested in. You are also supposed to tell them what you can do. You can also tell them why you should be admitted into that particular graduate school. Why are you even important to them? And what can you do within the department? Or what can you do in 5 to 10 years' time? So these are the things you should consider. Or let me say, these are some of the reasons why we need to write a statement of purpose, so that the admission committee would be able to know the kind of person you are, what you can contribute into that particular department or in that particular university. So these are the reasons why we supposed to write a statement of purpose. I just want to be very brief so that now, what are some of the writing tips? First, you need to list out your academic or research activities. So in this part, you need to come out of what you really want to do. What are your academic or research activities you undertake when you are being given an admission? Then you also need to list out your extracurricular activities. So here you might not just write only about book, you know, but certain things that you can do outside the school system, or let me say outside just about book. What else can you do? Like you saw in my lesson, sometimes we need to undertake some competitions. That is Chinese competition. So these things, as they get to know that you can partake in some of these things, they would need you. So your extracurricular activities are also very important. Then you filter based on your graduate school interest. Now, there are several schools or universities, but what you want to do, be sure that the particular university that you are looking for are into what you are interested in. So anything you're going to choose would be based on what that particular university is working on. Assuming you want to study engineering, then you need to look for a university that is pursuing that course. Or you need to look for a department that is doing such a course. You wouldn't go to economics or let me say Chinese language and you are applying for engineering. So you need to take time and then do all these things. Then the fourth point is to think of how you can tell your story. So you need to sit down and plan. How are you going to write your statement of purpose? Tell a beautiful story, not an irrelevant stories. There are some stories that might not be needed. So you tell a very good story about how you would put all these things together. Now, the SO structure, the SOP structure comprises these three. The first is your introduction. Second would be the body. And the last part would be your conclusion. Now, in writing your statement of purpose, you need to write the introduction. Now, the introduction, you need to talk about who you are, your name. You need to talk about a short story about yourself, what you can do, what motivated you to even apply for such a course or to go into that country or into that particular university. What is your motivation? And you need to connect that to your course of study. You can do that in just one paragraph, and that would be your introduction. After your introduction, you will need the body. The body, you can write about 2 to 4 paragraphs or more, depending on how you want to write it. Now, the body would also, you would also go into details, your academic and technical issues. You can tell them what you can do, what you have done before, what you even do in that particular department. if they get you admitted. All these things, you would have to write them under the body. And how these, your goals that you have set or the objectives you've set, how they will help you to accomplish your career aspirations. So you need to look for all these things, and you can write these things under the body. Then the last part, it's your conclusion. Now, for your conclusion, you would have to talk about, in one way or the other, let me say, anticipations. You need to write in the form of anticipation. That is to say that what you expect or what you are anticipating from them. For example, statements like, I would be expecting to be gotten admitted, or I would wish that I am admitted in your university, or I'm looking forward to receiving an admission from you. So these things are part of the conclusion, how you will conclude. And it tells how you are highly anticipating an answer or an admission from them. In the conclusion part, you can also praise them. Praise in such a way that the department you are going, or let me say the university, or even a city, you need to praise them. What do they do? What motivates you to even choose that particular university or that country? When you do that, all these things would gear them up to be able to even consider what you've written. You wouldn't want to write something to a particular country or a university of which you yourself doesn't even like it. So you need to praise what they are doing, encourage them, and that is how you can conclude. So for the SOP structure, these are the three parts we look at: the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. Now the writing process. So once you have all these things in place, the first thing is to write. So you begin writing what you have gathered and put it into writing. After you have written, you need to edit. That is proofread. You need to edit. Edit what you have written to be sure that there are no errors. After you have edited, then you need to consult a reviewer. That is to say, consult someone else to check, to also check what you have written. If there are errors, if there are any improvements to be made, they would help you out. Then once you consult a reviewer, then you can rewrite to be sure that everything is in place. So you write, you edit, consult a reviewer, and then you rewrite. Now, what you should note is that you don't need a too long SOP. It should be short, concise, well-written, strong, and convey the message. It should capture the reader in 4 to 5 minutes. So it should not be too long. Be something that should capture the reader's attention in just a short few minutes. So this is what I can say based on the statement of purpose. So if you follow all these things I have listed, I'm sure you should be able to come out with a statement of purpose. The last part is study plan. I'm really very fast because of our time, and I know I would finish it in just a short period of time. So what is a study plan? So a study plan is an organized document enlisting the students' set academic goals with a timeline to follow. So that is to say that the things that you have enlisted regarding your academic goals, you put them into writing. And these must follow a particular timeline. For example, after you've written your achievement, your aspirations, what do you intend to do in first year if you got admitted? In first year, what would you do? What courses will you take? What research will you do? How many number of hours will it take for you to do that? So you can list some of these things in your study plan. It is a critical task that can make or break your chances of securing the scholarship. So it's also very important, just like the statement of purpose. If you write it well, it will help you. But if you write it anyhow, you might also lose the opportunity of getting a scholarship. Now, some essential tips on how to write a study plan for a scholarship application. What are the tips that you need to write a study plan? First, you need to research the scholarship and the institution offering it. So if you want to write it, you need to know what kind of a scholarship am I looking for? I'm in China. Am I looking for, I want to come to China. What are the scholarships that are available? We have government scholarships, Chinese government scholarships. We have the university scholarships. We have the presidential scholarships. All these things are available. Then you need to check per the institution, the university, what are the types or the kinds of scholarships that are there. You need to search that. And when you do that, then what are some of the academic programs, the culture or the values that are in that particular college or university? You need to understand so that when you are writing your study plan, you can then channel that to some of the programs or the cultures, in other words, the core values of the university. Number two, you need to come out with your clear academic goals and objectives. What are the goals or the objectives that is pushing me or motivating me to undergo this particular program? And these goals should be SMART. That is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. I don't need to explain all these because of our time, and I know most of you understand all these things. So if you are applying for a scholarship, for example, in engineering, your goal could be that maybe after completing my program in 5 years' time, I should be an engineer. So you should be able to write some of these things. Number three, you can create a plan of action. I think I already spoke about that. That aligns the steps you will take to achieve your academic goals. So first year or first semester, what would you do? What research will you undertake? Are there any internships you will take? What time frame? You need to put all these things into writing. Number four, show how your academic goals align with your career aspirations. So the goals that you have set, how would these goals align with who you want to be in the future? How do they align with your career aspirations? If you spell out these things clearly, the scholarship committee would understand how they would offer you this scholarship that will enable you to achieve your goals. And even how would a scholarship that is granted unto you would help you to contribute to your community or your society? You should be able to tell the committee how important this scholarship is unto you and how it will benefit the community or the society or even the nation in which you are. That is very, very important. So if you spell all these things, when they see, they will say, okay, this person, really knows what he or she is about. And you might be considered for a scholarship. And when you are writing all these things, don't forget about a supervisor, even in that particular department. Look for the potential supervisor, the one that aligns with what you are doing. That will tell the committee that you have really searched into the department. You've really searched into the university, and you even know the potential supervisors that are there and what they do, and how your interests align with that particular supervisor. So when the committee reads, they'll say, oh, this person has really done some work. This person knows what he or she is about. And they will take you seriously. The last one is proofread your study plan and ensure it is well written, concise, and error-free. Both of them you must edit. Make sure there are no errors. And whatever you write, make sure it fits into what you want to do. It fits. You don't just go to look for any grade school and you start writing a statement of purpose. That particular university you have selected, do they do what you want to do? That is very important. So you must do that diligent research, and then you write without errors. And you note that a well-written study plan shows that you are organized, committed, and serious about your academic goals. You should also ensure that your study plan is formatted correctly and follows the scholarship guidelines. So whatever you are doing should follow the guidelines of that particular scholarship you are looking for. Overall, writing a study plan for a scholarship application is an essential task that requires careful planning and attention to detail. By following the tips above, you can create a compelling study plan that showcases your academic goals, career aspirations, and a commitment to your community. So if you follow what I have just spoken briefly, I don't think it should be difficult for you to write a compelling study plan for yourself that would win you a good scholarship. Finally, the things you should avoid when writing your statement of purpose or your study plan are: 1, spelling errors. Be careful about spelling. If you don't know a word, then go to the dictionary to check it, or go to the internet, search it, let it help you so that you don't spell things wrongly. Because if they are reading your essay and they are seeing spelling errors, it already tells them that no, this person cannot be taken seriously. Grammatical blunders. Make sure to check your grammar. That's what I say. You can even give it to co-reviewers, your friends, to also read. If there are any grammatical errors, they will help you. Avoid ambiguous words. So many of us would like to always use words. We always, in quotes, big words. We call them big words. And we think that is always the best. But you can use some words that would delay the reader's time, because they have to read a lot, thousands of applications. So if you cannot use simple English and then you go about writing big words that they have to go and find a dictionary to look for the words, the meaning of what you are saying, it might go against you. So avoid ambiguous words. Of course, plagiarism. If you go to online, you copy something, make sure you rewrite it to rewrite it to be your own, or acknowledge them. Just avoid copy and paste. Irrelevant stories. So in as much you need to tell a beautiful story of your aces, avoid irrelevant stories that are not necessary. Avoid them. And then the last one is avoid writing late. So if you want to apply for a scholarship for the next time, you should start now, just like what OAAD is doing right now. They are already preparing us for scholarship applications. They are not waiting for the time to come and then they begin that. So they are already preparing us. If you don't know what to do, you join this program, you start learning how to put all these aces, how to search for the scholarships, and write these things early. Don't wait until the last minute. You write anything and then you send it. Right now, you would have time to edit, give it to colleagues to look at it. And once all these things are done and you write a beautiful statement of purpose and a study plan, I believe that you might be granted for a scholarship. End of my presentation. Thank you for your attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation and even ending with the Chinese words. That's so great. So yeah, moving on because we're already behind schedule. I will just go straight to the question. Yeah, it's so nice to know we still have Mr. Olusegun who will be helping us in addressing some questions as well. So please keep your questions coming in the chat panel. For now, I'll be asking the questions I have seen so far. There are a whole lot of great presentation, wonderful. Yeah, really nice one. Yeah. So a question is, oh, not working. I saw a question earlier. Let me check, please. Okay, while I try getting the question, okay, yes, I've seen it. Are there any scholarships available for undergraduates in the UK? Mr. Olusegun, please. Hello, sir.
Yes, okay. Are there any scholarship available for undergraduates?
Yes, sir.
So far, so good. The scholarships that I've outlined in my presentation as basically for masters and PhDs. You understand? They're basically for masters and PhDs, like Commonwealth Scholarship. We have Commonwealth Masters, we have Commonwealth Share that can access for your master's degree in the UK. Also, for PhD, I have not seen undergraduate scholarships to study. But maybe while in the university, you may have access to some part funding, which you might access some internal funding. You understand that you might access in the university, just like I said in my presentation, that there are some internal funding, that you might access in the university. But for external funding, I think basically we have numbers of scholarships for masters and PhDs. But while in the university, you might access some internal funding to help your master's degree. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the answer. I hope the person is able to get clarity by those answers. And another question is IELTS compulsory? Is it a compulsory kind of document that is required for the Commonwealth scholarship? IELTS, is it compulsory?
IELTS is not compulsory. Commonwealth, in my presentation, I also made mention of the fact that if the language of instruction is in English and the official language is in English, even to get admission in the UK university, you don't need to, if you are coming from Africa, most especially African countries that English language is their official language, you understand, like Nigeria that I know of, and also Ghana and some other, that you don't need to submit IELTS. And I think maybe when you are submitting your document for Commonwealth Scholarship, maybe as part of awards and things like that, you might want to add it as one of your achievements. Maybe that might also help, because I've seen people submit GRE results as also part of, this is what I've been able to do. And maybe if you've gotten like a good band for IELTS, you might want to submit it as, oh, this is also something to show my competence. But to get the scholarship, IELTS is not a core document to submit. And also to get admission, if you are coming from English-speaking countries.
Thank you so much for that. So someone is asking, what is the time for next scholarship application? That's the Commonwealth.
Yeah, I think Commonwealth Scholarship is on now. It's going
yes, it is on right now. Like you can apply, you can start your application today. Yeah, so true. Yes. So please, do we have more questions? You can indicate, I can allow you to, I can give you the floor to ask your questions directly. Do we have more questions? If in 3 minutes there are no questions, we'll take it that everyone understood. And please remember to fill the form so that you get your certificate, so you don't come later to ask me when I don't know how to trace you. So 2 minutes remaining. If no question, then two minutes remaining. Okay, another question. Can you have a CSC scholarship and apply for another Chinese scholarship?
I don't understand what this question means, but do you mean that you've gotten a CSC scholarship and you are already in the UK studying and you are also applying for Chinese scholarship? I don't get it. If you finish your program, let's say you apply for a Commonwealth share and you've been in the UK and you are almost completing your Commonwealth share scholarship, you can apply for another scholarship anyway. I've seen people come I've seen people come to the UK under Commonwealth scholarship, and shortly after the end of their Commonwealth scholarship, they will apply for another scholarship in the US, and because the rule for Commonwealth is that once you finish your program, you have to, because it's a developmental scholarship, you have to do a developmental project, the one that will affect your home country. Once you finish your program, you have to return to your home country. So I've seen people, after that, their masters, they will apply for a PhD opportunity, and they will after finishing their program in the UK, return to their own country, and from their own country, just resume to another part of the world to start their PhD sojourn. You understand their degree. So if you finish a particular degree under a particular scholarship, you can apply for, but you can't apply while still on that scholarship. But towards, if you are finishing, you can apply, and that is acceptable. But while on that program, you can't apply because it's against the scholarship.
Thank you so much, sir. So another question is, will one get a supervisor before applying for a PhD? So the person wants to know if the person have to have a supervisor, a supervisor before the person could apply for a PhD.
Apply for a PhD now. Do you mean PhD admission in the university or PhD scholarship? Which one?
I would want to say, thinking for the person, maybe admission, like to apply for a PhD admission. Yeah.
Yes, your application must come through someone that is willing to supervise you. So your application will come through a supervisor. As a matter of fact, if you has a very good rapport with your supervisor can even your supervisor will say, okay, you can I'm willing to accept you and I'm going to throw my weight behind you, so you can go ahead and apply for admission. And if the competition is so intense, you have someone already in the university that is willing to say, this person is coming here. I know of this person, I will be the primary supervisor of this person. You understand? So you need most especially PhD, you need a supervisor to be able to get admission.
So true. So another question is, the person wants to know if he or she could apply for a CSC kind of the scholarship individually without needing an organization or government.
No. The way it is for masters is either shared in the sense that you apply to university. All universities in the UK, they have slots to nominate candidates to the CSC body for approval. So maybe University of Glasgow, maybe they have 4 slots. So they call for application. You apply directly to the university. So the university review your application documents, you go through all the processes, and once they see that your application is credible, they nominate you to Commonwealth. That is Commonwealth share. For Commonwealth Masters, you apply through a nominating agency, maybe Federal Ministry of Education in Abuja. So once you go through, you apply on the CSC site, and you apply also to the nominating agency. You pick the nominating agency. I want Ministry of Education in Abuja to nominate you. So at the end of, after the expiration of CSC application, you will see Minister of Education Abuja called for interviews for those that have applied for Commonwealth Scholarship. So you go through the interview with them, and once you are able to prove yourself as well, they will also nominate you. So you can, the way it has been designed, you have to go through a body to nominate you. It's either you are going through the nominating agency, which can be your Minister of Education or your university or any non-governmental organization. You can't apply individually. That makes the process very intense and very competitive. Imagine, like, Minister of Education in Abuja, in Nigeria, you know our population, right? We're over 220 million. Imagine they have like 30 slots for PhD, and you see everybody from all the geopolitical zones in Nigeria wanting the Minister of Education in Abuja, you understand, to nominate them to CSC. You can see how intense it will be. So it's more or less that you have to put all your documents forward and convince them that this project that I'm coming to the UK to study will actually affect my home country, Nigeria, or affect my home country, Ghana. You understand, to realize, to solve problems, to address sustainable development goals, are perfectly fit into the teams, the CSC teams, and things like that. So you must surely go through the meetings to get the scholarship.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. So another question is, I'm expected to graduate with my master's degree in November 8th this year. Will I be eligible for a PhD scholarship next year? And what should I do? So the person will be graduating
next year. You are graduating this year.
Yes, this November, 8th of November. So the person is asking if he or she would be eligible next year for a PhD scholarship, CSC, and what kind of person?
CSC scholarship. Yes, there's room for that. You can apply, but you just have to show that, oh, I will be graduating very soon, and you need to show evidences. Maybe these are the courses that I've taken so far. This is my transcript, your transcript so far. This is, all your documents. You have to show that, okay, I'll be graduating very soon. For PhD, you also need to have secured a supervisor. You can get conditional offer, that because if you get a conditional offer, for them to make it unconditional, which is, you need no other requirements again. You need to provide evidence. Like, for example, if you are coming for a PhD in the UK, but you are still on a master's degree, and you are applying for a PhD admission in the UK, it's conditional offer that will give you at that level, because you still need to supply them with your master's certificate and master's transcript. But because at that time you don't have it yet, you will be given a conditional offer. So when you have those documents and you supply it, you will now get your own conditional offer. So the conditional offer means that although we are holding this space for you, you still need to supply all these documents, which you can supply through the application self-service that I mentioned in my. So you are eligible. You just need to convince them that you'll be finishing your program and apply and get your conditional offer after you finish your master. Because if you are not able to supply your master's certificate and your transcript, your offer will just remain at that conditional offer and to not move forward. And you need, for your admission to be clear, it needs to be unconditional.
Thank you so much, sir. So another question is, after you are nominated by the Ministry of Education in your country, do you still need to search for supervisor by yourself, or the ministry will now find you a supervisor?
No ministry will look for supervisors for you. No, you have to do all those yourself. The ministry doesn't even know the supervisor that cuts your research. That is that has your interest. That in my application, I made mention of that. Those are the work that you need to do yourself. What if even if peradventure they do it, which they don't do, and they give you somebody that is not even in your research area, it will be very difficult for you. So you have to do all those yourself. Look for your research advisor yourself that cuts your interest, that you know that, oh, my interest aligns with this person's interest. And so the ministry will not look for that for you. You have to do it yourself. And you have to do it even before you get the admission, just like I've answered the initial question about that.
Thank you so much. So I think this person's question, it's similar to what you had answered previously, but I would just ask, can you apply for CSE scholarship on your own without government or without an organization or government? You have actually answered this already previously. So please do well to subscribe to our YouTube and you'll watch it there. So I don't keep him repeating himself. So another question is it possible to get PhD admission without publication?
PhD admission, yes, it's possible. Yes, it's possible.
Without publication?
Well, I don't know. You have to, obviously, if other entry requirements for that specific course is that you provide publications, that means if you are not providing any, you can't go forward. You understand? But if you've actually checked the requirement for that particular program and publications wasn't mentioned, that means you can get it. But specifically, I think where publication comes to play is if you are actually looking for a scholarship, because at that level, you want to prove yourself, you want to show yourself that you have all the requirements, you want to go a little step forward so that you'll be able to be relevant while they are reviewing your application. And also from supervisors might also use it as a yardstick. They want to do due diligence on who will be coming into their lab to study, most especially if they have a funding. You understand? They have advertised particular funding and they are looking for somebody to get on that funding to do the work. They will surely be requesting for, they might request for publications, some of the publications that you have done. And if you've not been able to prove yourself before that advisor, definitely you are not going to get admission. And if you don't get admission, you can't get the scholarship, you can't get the funding that you have. You need the admission to be able to get the funding that you have, because it's more or less like you want to travel to Lagos or you want to travel to the UK and you don't want to go by air, you don't want to go by sea, you don't want to go. So I don't know how you want to go. I don't know how you want to travel to. So you need the admission to be able to get the funding. So if they are emphasizing that you show publication, they want to judge you by publication and you are not providing, definitely they may not throw their weight behind you to secure an admission in the UK university, and that automatically means that you might not get a space in their lab.
Wow, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Let me check if we have more questions. Yes. Do we have any other questions coming up? Okay. I'll take it that we don't have more questions. Okay, so see now, okay, no questions? Okay. So the closing remark.
Okay. I'm sorry, I want to address, I see someone answered a particular question. Actually, yes, there's provision for applying via school, but we not cover for flight tickets and other entitlements, and it's enjoyed by one sponsored through government agency. If this person is talking about CSE, I think he's speaking for those applying for Commonwealth share, and I think this is not totally true. If you apply through Commonwealth share, we have Commonwealth Masters, we have Commonwealth share. Commonwealth share, you apply through the UK universities. The UK universities will review your application and nominate to the CSE, but you are still going to get all the benefits. They are going to pay your CSE that will be footing all the bills, but it's just that the UK university will have to nominate it. So you are going to get all the benefits as someone applying for Commonwealth Masters. You understand? But they are going to pay for your round ticket. They are going to pay for even the visa application fee and every other. But it's just that it is the university that will be managing your stipend payment. Like for those that apply for Commonwealth share, if they are getting the stipend monthly, it is through the university because there's somebody in the university that will be overseeing the disbursement of the scholarship that is like in charge. So you'll be getting your stipend through that person. Your stipend will not be coming from the CSE directly, because if you've applied through the Ministry of Education, your stipend will be coming directly from. I think it's something like that in China. There's some scholars, MOVCOM scholar or something. You know, those ones specifically enjoy some benefit than those that are coming from the CSE. You know, I think it's something related to that. So that's just the difference. But you still enjoy all the benefits that every other scholars enjoy.
Okay. Thank you so much to our distinguished speakers. And I would like to ask Mr. Zacchaeus, please, do you have anything, any advice, any word to add up to in running up for today? Do you have any advice for our participants?
All right. Thank you, Madam Moderator. And thank you, all listeners. I think for them taking the opportunity to be here is actually great. And I just want to say that all that they've received here, they should just put it into practice. They should start working on the materials, start searching the opportunities, working on that, and put everything together on time. They shouldn't wait or delay until the last minute and there's always pressure. They should start everything now, work on everything, and get ready to apply. They can do it by themselves. With what we've done here, if you sit down and then you study and also go to the YouTube, you should be able to do all these things by yourself without paying a dime to anybody. Yeah, and I think one of the opportunities, or let me say the great thing OAAD is doing is to help us as Africans so that we'll be able to do things by ourselves and be able to get on top there. So with this, we don't expect anybody to be struggling to pay money and all that. If you sit down, you can also do it. You can search the opportunities. You can get everything that you need and apply. I got my Chinese government scholarship. I did everything by myself. And I went through the whole process, interviews, everything, and I was awarded. So with my PhD, I didn't give anybody even 1 yuan or 1 Ghana cedi. I'm from Ghana. So you can also do it. You can also do it. So just be diligent and work hard, and you'll be able to go through the process, and then you come. And even in China, we also have this CSE scholarship. That's the Chinese government scholarship. Yeah, so you can just get the website, the links, you look at the requirements, and you go through the process, and then you could be awarded a full scholarship. You can come and study. Thank you, OAAD, Mr. President, and then Madam Moderator, my colleague presenter, and all the listeners. Thank you very much for coming. God bless you all.
Thank you so much. So, Mr. Oluwasegun, please, do you have any additional advice for our participants?
Yeah, I was, before you mentioned this, I had just written something. I strongly agree with Dr. Zacchaeus. Yes, yes. Please, you can do this yourself. No, forget about that. If you don't know anybody, you can't get scholarships. No, no, no. Just put yourself together, write your story, and I want to share that, most especially for Commonwealth and also for other scholarships. The essay that you write is something that will take you time. Sit down, write it. That idea, that passion that you have, I will be able to convince the funder that this is what I have. This is how I want to do it. Just sit down, go through the messages, you understand. There are a lot of resources on YouTube. A lot of people have been winning awards, and OAAD now is also bringing distinguished scholars to come and talk to you guys and putting the information on their YouTube page. All these resources are there for you. You can watch them as many times as you want. They can address your needs. So, I mean, you don't need to pay anybody. If you actually will do your due diligence, all what Dr. Zacchaeus had shared is for you to explore. You know, if you don't, they call it the universal university. There are a lot of resources for you. So I just want to add to what Dr. Zacchaeus has said. Please be diligent and be persistent, be passionate. Don't feel like I've applied last year. I don't want to apply because all my application got back, like I could not get any space. Just be persistent, just be doing it and be improving yourself. You know, you don't want to keep repeating the same thing every year. You want to keep improving yourself. You understand? So that, because it's getting more competitive now. So you just want to be doing that. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. So please, if you have more questions or you have any other question, just do well to stay behind. I think we have gone so far than we had planned. So I would like to round up by introducing our, should I say, the Vice President of the Western Africa, OAAD, to help us with a closing remark. Mr. Gideon, please, you're welcome. You have the floor.
Okay. Hello, everyone. And thank you for joining today. We appreciate your effort, and to those who contributed to the success of this program, thank you. And your effort will not be in vain, because we have been getting testimony on this program. Other people will not come openly to say, I benefited from this, but there are few people that will come. So with OAAD, we can all grow together and be a better one. We are here today again on this edition with OMG. I will encourage every one of us to follow this over and over till we master the procedure for this opportunity. And if you have your question after this program, you can also make use of the YouTube and just drop your question. You will get answer. You can also get the Facebook page of OAAD, and you will also get answer. So see you another time. Best wishes, everyone.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for the wonderful closing remark. And in addition to that, I would like to inform us that we still have the day 2 section tomorrow. So do well to come, because it will be amazing. It promises to be educative. I'm sure we do enjoy today's webinar for today, having our distinguished speakers and joining my voice with that of the participants. I would like to say thank you so much to our distinguished speakers in person of Mr. Oluwasegun John Jegede and Mr. Zacchaeus Pasamilala Akayami. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So with this, I would like to say thank you all for participating. Just stay tuned. I will turn off the recording and then we'll take our screenshots. Thank you all. Okay, please, you can open your video. Let me see your beautiful faces, your handsome looking faces. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. We have a whole lot of people turning on their video, so maybe I just wait a bit. Okay. I'll be taking the snapshots now. So 1, yeah, son, like 1, 2, 3. Okay. 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 I want to take the next page. Please let me take the first and second page again because some persons turned off and on their video. When you do that, your position shifts and you may cause some persons not to show in this at the end of the day because of the shift. So let me go back to the beginning. I just want to be sure every one of us have our certificate. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. And if you are a master's student or you just completed your master's and you're interested in joining OMG, please do well to wait behind so that we would add you to the group, okay? And do well to tune in for tomorrow's webinar. It will be very educative. So thank you all for coming. This is the end of the webinar, day 1.